What if I told you that your brain doesn't actually care about your future? It cares about one thing, keeping you alive today. And that single mission might be the reason you're procrastinating, wasting hours scrolling, avoiding difficult conversations, and watching your biggest dreams slowly disappear. The strangest part? Your brain thinks it's helping you. Imagine two versions of yourself. One wakes up early, exercises, learns new skills, saves money, and slowly builds an incredible life. The other hits snooze, opens social media for 5 minutes, orders fast food, puts off important work, and promises to start tomorrow. You probably assume one person has stronger willpower, but that's not the real difference. The real difference is that one person learned how to stop trusting their brain. That sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? After all, your brain is supposed to make smart decisions. Except it wasn't designed for the world you're living in. Your brain is running software that's over 200,000 years old. Back then, humans weren't worried about building businesses, getting into college, or becoming financially independent. They were worried about surviving until sunset. Food was scarce, danger was everywhere. Every strange sound could be a predator. Every mistake could be your last. Your brain evolved with one simple priority: avoid unnecessary risk and grab every immediate reward before someone else does. Now look at modern life. Unlimited food, unlimited entertainment, unlimited distractions. Your ancient brain suddenly found itself inside a world where survival is easy. But temptation is endless. And that's where everything starts going wrong. Think about the last time you wanted to work on something important. Maybe you wanted to study. Maybe you wanted to start a business. Maybe you wanted to work out. Then somehow, without even realizing it, you ended up watching random videos, checking notifications, replying to messages that weren't urgent, or scrolling through people you'll probably never meet. You didn't consciously choose that. Your brain did. Because every notification is a tiny reward. Every new post is uncertainty. Every swipe could reveal something exciting. And your brain absolutely loves uncertainty. In psychology, unpredictable rewards are incredibly addictive. It's the same reason casinos make billions. Slot machines don't pay every time. They pay just often enough to keep people pulling the lever. Social media copied that exact system. You never know what the next swipe will bring. A funny video, breaking news, a shocking opinion, a message from someone you like. Your brain keeps thinking, maybe the next one is worth it. 5 minutes become 50. An hour disappears. Then your brain says something even more dangerous.
You can always start tomorrow. That sentence has probably destroyed more dreams than failure ever has. Because tomorrow feels safe. Tomorrow feels responsible. Tomorrow feels possible. But tomorrow is the favorite hiding place of fear. Here's something fascinating. When you imagine your future self, your brain often treats that person almost like a stranger. Researchers have found that many people react to their future selves similarly to how they react to other people. That's why spending money today feels easier than saving for retirement. That's why eating junk food now feels more rewarding than protecting your future health. That's why binge watching another episode feels better than learning a skill that pays off years later. Your present self keeps stealing from your future self because your brain struggles to feel connected to that future person. It's almost like borrowing money from someone you'll never meet.
Except that person is you. Now here's where things become even stranger. Have you ever noticed that the closer you get to a big goal, the stronger your urge becomes to avoid working? You finally sit down. You open the document. You begin. And suddenly, you're thirsty. Your room needs cleaning. You remember an email. You decide to organize your desktop. Your brain becomes unbelievably creative at finding anything except the thing that actually matters. That's not laziness. That's self-protection. Because growth always creates uncertainty, and uncertainty feels dangerous. Your brain can't always tell the difference between physical danger and psychological discomfort. Giving a presentation, your brain thinks people might reject you. Starting a business, your brain sees financial uncertainty. Posting your first video, your brain imagines embarrassment. As far as your ancient survival system is concerned, Embarrassment and being chased by a predator activate surprisingly similar stress responses. So your brain whispers, maybe not today. Not because it wants you to fail, because it wants you to feel safe. But safety has a hidden cost. Every comfort zone slowly becomes a cage. The more you avoid discomfort, the smaller your world becomes. Think about someone afraid of public speaking. At first, they avoid one presentation. Then they avoid meetings. Then promotions. Then leadership opportunities. Years later, their entire career has been shaped by one emotion they never questioned. Fear disguised itself as logic, and the brain congratulated itself for keeping them safe. Now, here's one of the biggest lies your brain tells. I'll feel motivated first, then I'll act. That almost never happens. Your brain doesn't usually create motivation before action.
It creates motivation after action begins. Ever notice how the hardest part of working out is putting on your shoes? The hardest part of writing is opening the blank page. The hardest part of studying is sitting at the desk. Because once movement begins, resistance often fades. Your brain was waiting for evidence that the task wasn't actually dangerous. The action changed the emotion, not the other way around. Let's do a quick thought experiment. Imagine someone offers you $1 million. There's only one condition. Tomorrow morning at 5 a.m., you must wake up and run 1 mile. Would you do it? Of course. Suddenly waking up early doesn't seem impossible anymore. Which means the problem was never your ability. It was your brain's reward calculation. Your brain constantly asks one question. Is the reward worth the effort right now?
The problem is that meaningful goals usually pay late. Distractions pay instantly. Exercise pays months later. Scrolling pays immediately. Learning pays years later. Entertainment pays now. Saving money pays decades later. Shopping pays in seconds. Your brain naturally chooses whatever delivers the fastest emotional reward, unless you deliberately redesign the game. The most successful people aren't people with magical discipline. They're people who understand how their brains trick them. Instead of fighting their brains, they outsmart them. They remove distractions before temptation appears. They make good habits easier than bad ones. They don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems. Because motivation is emotional. Systems survive emotions. There's another trap almost nobody talks about. Your brain loves certainty so much that it would rather stay in familiar misery than face unfamiliar possibility. That's why people stay in jobs they hate, stay in unhealthy relationships, keep repeating destructive habits. Not because they're weak, because the known feels safer than the unknown.
Even when the known is making them miserable, your brain confuses familiarity with safety, but they're not the same thing. Just because something feels familiar doesn't mean it's good for you. Imagine living inside a house that's slowly collapsing. The walls crack every day. The roof leaks. The floor shakes. But you've lived there for years. Now someone offers you a beautiful new home. Would moving still feel uncomfortable? Absolutely. Because change always feels uncertain before it feels rewarding. Your brain focuses on what you might lose. It ignores everything you could gain. And that's exactly why so many people never become who they could have been. Not because they lacked intelligence, not because they lacked talent, because they believed every thought their brain produced. Here's the truth. Your brain is an incredible survival machine, but it is a terrible life planner. It wants comfort when growth requires discomfort. It wants certainty when success requires uncertainty.
It wants immediate rewards when meaningful achievements demand patience. The moment you understand this, something changes. You stop asking, why am I so lazy? And start asking, what is my brain trying to protect me from? That single question changes everything. Because once you recognize the illusion, you stop obeying it. You'll still feel fear. You'll still want to procrastinate. You'll still crave comfort. The difference is, you won't mistake those feelings for instructions. Your brain will continue trying to pull you toward what's easy, toward what's familiar, toward what's comfortable, because that's exactly what it evolved to do.
But your future doesn't belong to the oldest part of your brain. It belongs to the part of you that's willing to question it. So the next time your mind tells you, start tomorrow, pause for a second. Ask yourself one simple question. Is this protecting my future or protecting my comfort? Because your brain only wants you to survive today.
The person you become depends on whether you're willing to live for tomorrow.